What's poppin', man? It's your boy Big Sauce. Welcome to the Concrete Genius Media Podcast, man. I'm your honorable host, Sauce McKenzie. Follow us at concretegeniusmedia.com. Follow us on all socials. I'm live broadcasting from an undisclosed mansion in an undisclosed location. It may be in Gary. Matter of fact, we in Gary, Indiana right now.
Made it
Right.
219.
Lane 219. We on 9th and Wickham Street. I just built this motherfucker.
1330 lane.
It's my combine. But no, I'm honored, man. It's part 2 of my counter exposition. Day ones, early shit, 80s, 90s. My guy Damon, Pennington, Supreme Hustler, that DNA, family man, taking care of business owner, multiple businesses from day one. If you heard part 1. Well, now this is part 2. We got some deeper things to talk about. So, family, what's going on?
Chilling, man. It's funny. You've been here a couple of days, and I'm glad that you're here, man. But it's funny. I said before we started recording yesterday, I started telling you some things, and I know you tell me like sometime when I'll call you back in a couple of days, you know something's up. And I started telling you, but I was like, I'll tell them later. And it's funny because yesterday I had one of those days, and it's funny because I'm telling maybe 3 or 4 people know about this, but not many people know. But like, nigga, this fall, I literally almost committed suicide. Really was about to commit suicide. And besides that, I committed myself for like 5 days. And I learned a lot about myself in those 5 days, man. There's no telephone or none of that. But I learned that, I was high functional bipolar. And, growing up in GI, if motherfuckers had highs and lows, you always told me, suck it up, you'll be all right. And, in our community, it's something that we don't talk about. I have a therapist I talk to once a week.
Yeah.
But real talk and learning a lot now about my father's side of the family, man. Shit runs in the family.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a lot of motherfuckers with bipolar in the world, and it's not a death sentence.
Yeah.
But like yesterday, man, it was a shitty day for me. Like I know Friday night was a crazy night, and we drank a lot. Or you say I drink a lot. And then Saturday I had to jump up and run to my kid's game, which was 2 hours away, and I didn't take my medicine. So I was feeling shitty like all day. And again, people think bipolar is schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is 2 personalities. Bipolar is you have highs and lows. So I can be like, yo, I'm good, and I can just feel shitty.
Extreme highs and lows.
Extreme highs and lows. And there's a lot of people with bipolar, and you will never know. And they say in my case, I'm high functioning because I got so much going on. And I wouldn't be surprised if I'm ADHD at the same time. But a lot of times we frown upon this shit, man. I'm at the point now where I embrace it. And part of embracing that is not feeling like I couldn't talk about this shit on camera. Because I'm like, I know we have fun and we wild out. We talk about this and that and fun. But I'm like, man, motherfuckers need to hear this shit. Because in all actuality, motherfuckers just don't know. Or they're afraid to. And I'm at the point now, man, I'm not afraid to, bro. I put that shit over my chest like Superman. It'd be like, yo, nigga, I ain't fully bipolar, but like I know and recognize that I got issues that I got to deal with as a 48-year-old man about to turn 49.
Well, as your friend, God bless you. You know what I mean? Proud of you. I always wish for you recovery privately. You know how I root for you. But secondly, like, I'm honored that you chose me. You trusted me enough to say it. And I'm glad that we can maybe help. If it's just one person. Just like my first podcast, I had to talk about how my mom died, how I was depressed.
Right.
It took a lot of courage to get that shit out, bro. It felt embarrassing.
No doubt.
But when it came out, it was like a relief off my chest, man. And I'm glad you're working towards it. And I'm glad you recognized it. So at what point as a black man, with the strength of where we come from, knowing what the ethos was, suck it up, what made you finally say, you know what, this is bigger than me, I need some help?
The day the shit went down, I had just a lot of shit going on personally, professionally. And literally, nigga, I just snapped. And I ran out in front of a couple cars. And I'm like, and my wife had came out, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And in one breath, it was embarrassing, but in another breath, I'm like, yo, I gotta take it. So I went to the ER, yo, and it'd be in the ER for 5 hours, and they ask you all these questions and shit. And then after 5 hours, next you know, another ambulance is taking you to a fucking psych ward. Yo, it's a crazy feeling.
That's some scary shit.
It's and like I think about it now, And then when you sit down, I mean, when they put you in there and they take everything. You don't have no phone. They got motherfucking. It's like almost like prison. You got a payphone down the hall, and the payphone on the cord just long enough where you can't sit down. And yeah, think about it now with motherfucking cell phones. How many phone numbers you know?
Yeah, that ass.
So, you know, I was there for 5 days, and I think after the third day, the doctor on the floor, he finally saw me. You know, 3 meals a day. You talking to motherfuckers, man, that it's way worse than you are, and you think you're good, but you realize there's different levels of all this stuff, man. And there's people that's been in there 5 and 6 times, and for the first time, I'm like, I needed that. I would call it. I won't even call it relaxation, but I needed sort of a reset, hit a reset button, and it was a lot. But you really don't know what the fuck's going on. So for him to tell me, man, they asked me a series of questions, because my therapist, he's not a psychiatrist. My therapist is just somebody I talk to once a week and tell him everything, man. And it's expensive, but it's good to be able to talk to somebody that gets where you're coming from. But I think at this point, because when he found out I was in hospital, he was a little disappointed because he didn't see it. But when the dude told me you're high functional bipolar, because man, I don't take Xanax every day, but if I'm feeling this where my brain's just gone, I take a Xanax, dude, and it brings me down.
So let me ask you a question, man. We have overwhelming drive to succeed. You know what I mean? We're supreme hustlers.
Yeah.
We've also both overcame several personal tragedies. Things we saw that most motherfuckers would have broke. I think that drives our goal to be different, but I also think that puts a weight on us psychologically.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, my wife said something to me one day, man. She said, yo, you feel like you've been abandoned a lot in your life. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Then she started talking about, you know, my mom was murdered when I was a senior in college. You know, not knowing my dad. You start thinking about it. Like, we think of abandonment as one thing, but sometimes the most smallest thing is abandonment. Even when somebody
losing somebody, even if it's out of their control.
That's what I'm saying. Even somebody, like you said, you lost your mom. You feel abandoned. And you start looking at things like, damn. But again, we grew up, everything's black and white. There's no gray. So we look at everything a certain way. And you're like, damn, we start putting things in perspective like that. I'm like, wow, I guess maybe in a lot of ways, I do feel like I've been abandoned in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? It's deep. It's deep, man.
See, that's almost the opposite of what I felt when I went to the joint. Like, it was because I wanted that anger to be like, I just got rage. I need something to meet this rage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know if something meet this rage, I'm gonna see my mom anyway. And I had to live with that and analyze it a long time, and until I started really saluting fatherhood 100% and breaking down what I was going through. You really got to take control of your mind and fight over your past. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think this conversation is important because a lot of people come, they look for the jokes, they look for the game, they look for this is the most important game you're going to get. Take care of your brain.
It's funny, man. Like yesterday, like I said, yesterday was a shitty day. Just for me internally. Like, I woke up with a fucking hangover, had to drive to Lancaster 2 hours, had to watch a game at 9, watch another game at 1:15. Finally, my hangover was over. And then I'm like, but the whole day I was thinking like, yo, this is what I want to talk about. Like, I don't want to talk about fun anymore. I want to talk about this. And I'm like, if one motherfucker see this and be like, y'all been thinking and feeling that way for a long time, and there's somebody else thinking and feeling that way too. Because it ain't even about as much fun as we have and as much fun as people see us, we still human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And things like this, you want to make people feel like you're definitely human, but it ain't about I can do what he does business wise, but pain that he's feeling, yo, I've been feeling that same way, but I know how to handle the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, if I can talk to one motherfucker and he can receive that and recognize that, I feel like I've done my job.
Yeah. So this healing process, man, it's something that you've taken on, and I think the biggest step is just we got to help people. You know what I mean? Especially Black people. We have to get over these stigmas of asking for help. You know what I mean? I deal with that all the time. Like, I only want to be a savior. I don't want to be saved. You know what I mean? And that drives me and it fucks me up.
When you say helping people, what do you mean?
just like I want to be there if you need something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be the person that you can count on to get shit done. But I don't know if I can humble myself to let people save me, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want people doing shit for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you gotta be able to receive it both ways. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
It is. It is. And sometimes you may feel like it's nothing they can do. Because I feel like, not that they're beneath me, but I know everything they know and more. But, and I learned something a long time ago. This might have been like 25 years ago. Magic Johnson said this shit. He said, I want to surround myself with people that's smarter than me.
Me too.
Because when you're around people that's below you or at your level, you ain't learning, you ain't growing. You need to be around cats that's, like we always talk about the old heads that talk to us, and you like we was talking yesterday, like you learn something from 'em. And that's why sometimes, man, you can talk to some of the smartest dude, like old heads. Like now, I felt like before they didn't share knowledge. I think now people are sharing knowledge a lot more, but man, you can just talk to them and start picking their brain, man, because those are the people that help you grow.
Yeah.
It takes you to the next level. I'm talking about whether it's business, I don't know if it's preaching, personally. Like you talking about
just being a man.
Horny Hawkins talk the little things like but even business, like we were talking about, you know, the brand, the lifestyle brand you're trying to do. Like how many times have you called me for advice for business? Yeah. But again, you ain't calling a nigga at the barbershop.
No.
Right.
No.
But sometimes I don't even know.
Yeah.
And it's about, you know, talking to somebody that's on a higher level than you are, because that's how you grow.
That's how you grow. And not only that, the reason I always reached out to you, you know, my brother Carl, rest in peace, y'all had that similar drive. Like, so my ideas have to be told to somebody with ambition,
right,
or they won't water them.
Oh, dude, bro.
You know what I mean? Close-minded niggas that crush your shit.
Dude, that's family too.
Oh yeah.
Bro, my first business I started, I was senior in high school going into freshman year. Yeah, all through college, my family was like, "Yo, get a job." I had record labels, I had all this stuff. Get a job, and yo, I was never that dude. But the funny thing is, once you blow up, and then they come see how you living, and now they can't. They calling everybody about how well you're doing. They still can't explain what you do. Because see, as black folks, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but culturally, if you're not a doctor, lawyer, or Indian chief or teacher, motherfuckers don't know what you do. Man, you know how many jobs there is, even just in trades. Like, but if you're not one of those things, they're like, all right. So to them, my wife's a lawyer, but my wife ain't practicing fucking, how old is Gavin? My wife ain't practicing 17 years. Nigga, all this I built. I mean, she's got businesses too, but I'm like, but if you ain't that, they're like, oh, Damon, he does some other business he doing. Then they come out here, they're like, oh, he got this, he got that. But sometimes we have to, as people, we have to be able to open our minds to realize it's more than just this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's more than just, and that's why I realize I have a hard time. I can talk to anybody, but if you're a corporate dude, I realize our conversations are here. Because a corporate guy that's graduated from college and got a corporate job doesn't talk the same way I talk. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
Like entrepreneurs, I'm thinking, but he does his job in his silo, and he does it well.
It's like a horse running out of a certain stable,
and he stays in that lane.
Yeah.
Well, I know all facets.
I'm 1 through 8.
All 1 through exactly. So you know, but culturally, all we know is, unless it's fucking hip hop on TV or fucking a liquor brand, like all we know is, yo, he got a job in Nabisco, he got a job at fucking Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
But we don't recognize success with entrepreneurship. We're starting to, but I don't think we truly recognize that yet within our community. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I just think that you have to be. We have to celebrate the great things we do. That's not one of those things that you name. You know what I mean? Like, our stories are miraculous. You know what I mean? None short of it. So you have to have that versatility, because when you raise our survival, you got to be able to do everything. You got to cut hair, clean toilets, cook, make an egg, nigga, cut the grass, do all that shit. Charm a girl, nigga, motherfucking drive, fix the brakes, do all that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because nobody gonna save you. That was your mentality. So you wouldn't have had this without that mentality.
Oh, no doubt. You know, I tell people all the time, man.
Let me see that bottle.
Where you from? I'm from Gary, Indiana. But and again, once I was out here, I'd be like, I grew up in Gary. I realized I've been out here more than half of my adult life. I'm 48. I came out here like 16. But what made me who I am is the Midwest and it's Gary. Now I couldn't have stayed there. Like I said earlier, like I wouldn't be the person. Like I was able. You were able to take this mold, and I was shaped on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And I learned how to truly. Because it's funny, I was in the car with my wife yesterday, and she was like, "Yo, what do you think would have happened if I would have stayed up near Rutgers and graduated?" I was like, "And you would have did whatever you did." And I was like, "You know what? Like, cause when I had my record label, I should have moved to the city, and I didn't. That was one of my biggest regrets. I should have stayed in the city, and I didn't. But I was like, you know what, man? I think the plight of the direction I went and how I did it, it worked out even better than I would have thought of. And now I still want to do all those things that I wanted to do then.
Yeah.
And man, to me, I'm living my best life right now, man. And I want more, bro.
Yeah.
Like I laugh, like when our parents and grand was 48, them niggas was old, bro.
Yeah.
No, for real. Like when our uncles and shit, well, they was 30 something when we was kids, but like 48 and 50 ain't like nigga.
You set your ass down for it. You know what I'm saying?
Like we wildin'. At that age, them niggas was like, man, it's a different life, man. It's a different life.
And you know you
But
have
cheers to that, man.
cheers to us, nigga. Cheers to survival. And it's just not only a different life, it's you know, you're not bound by what society think no more. We more individuals. Like a lot of people hear my age and be like, damn, nigga, need to sit down somewhere. Why? I ain't never sit down nowhere. You know what I mean? Or you trying to act young, nigga, when you gonna act your age? How am I not acting my age? Nigga, I have a big, beautiful roof over my head, nigga. The nicest one on the block, nigga.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think that's always been a gripe with me. I feel like I'm taking over your show.
I talk nigga, you should it's our show, bro. We from the crib. The hell are you talking about?
Man, I just like to go, bro. You seem like
I gotta be doing.
I just like to, like I almost feel like when I'm in the crib, I don't want to be in the crib.
Yeah.
Like man, people like you should. I don't like being in the house. I like being out on the go because like when my brain's working, like
that's when the neutrons
that's when shit's just going, man. Yeah. And again, my wife asked me the other day. She's like, "You think you'll be happy once this takes off?" I'm like, "I don't know," because I'm always
looking for the next
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look for. I got two things about to pop like crazy, and when I think we may have talked about it briefly, but when I get it, I'm popping on again.
And you know it's crazy. I was talking to a nigga like, man, how do you nigga I want to make it yellow. I want and nigga like, damn, you always had nice cars, bro. You had this, and this. You had rims, and I was like, I never thought of what I was in because I thought of what I wanted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was always, I'm blessed. This caddy look good. If you ain't got it, you don't understand what I'm talking about because I want that Benz.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just I wanted more. I always wanted more.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
I got married, right? We bought a 1-bedroom condo. I said in 3 years I want to buy a bigger house. I bought the house you came to last time you was here.
Yeah.
And this house, I wasn't even looking to buy. The people that owned it owned like 3 or 4 grocery stores. They were going through a divorce. But my boy was dating a woman that was here. I came over for like the day after Thanksgiving. He was like, "Yo, you know it's for sale." I was like, and 2 weeks later, I made an offer. Same thing with cars. Nigga. My first car was a Datsun Sentra. And I had a Honda Accord. Then I had a Subaru. And then once I got married, I was like, "Yo, man, I heard a pastor say, you should appreciate your blessings." I got my first Mercedes was C-Class. My second Mercedes was E-Class.
Is that the one I rode? I rode in one of them.
I had 2 or 3 Benzes. And then
I thought I rode the first one.
And then my birthday 2 years ago, I said, you know what? I want a 911. As a kid, I got a 911. Then I bought a Cayenne. I just wrecked it though. A couple of weeks, a month ago.
You gotta treat yourself.
You do, man.
Like sometimes black men be like,
and don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad. Like, man, you be like, man, you know what, man? I might say this shit, man. My son might want a pair of shoes. Or somebody might want this, and then you be like, you know what, man? I'm grinding, bro. I'm 40-something. I deserve these vacations. You have to take solo time for yourself and water yourself as a father, as a man, as a leader. You got to.
But you know who taught me that more than anything, man? My wife and kids, bro. Like they bought. I used to be a hoarder when it came to money. I was like frugal. But it's like, yo, appreciate this, man. My kids, they earn their money. Man, they buying fly shit. Gavin
Yeah.
now, he be
On his own.
getting bootleg shit from China. And motherfuckers don't know the difference. But I'm like, yo, he got the hook at he got the hook. I don't care, man. My kid, when you say resourceful as
Nigga
hell.
smart though.
They smart, man.
Why waste 100? You get it for 30.
Like, bro, ain't nobody gonna. And I tell people, nigga, I got a couple pair of knockoff Jordans. I say that shit on camera. Nigga, I drive a 911. Who go question me?
Look, I used to live next to Pacer niggas, bro. I would sell them niggas weed in the mid 2000s. And nigga come over, I'd be like, that motherfucker hard, man. What that bitch cost? Niggas like, shit, about 1400. What the fuck? Diamonds ain't real, nigga. I'm not.
Dude, I saw something on Instagram. It had the same Cuban link for 100 that cost 20. Looks exactly the same.
It was a nigga on like a rookie. He was like, nigga, I'm on a 1 year, nigga. I don't even know if I'm in a league, nigga. Fuck, I'm spending 80,000 on a watch.
Why?
That motherfucker still gonna tell you it's 211.
But,
What the fuck? We used to call the telephone number. Hey man, what time is it? What's the weather gonna be?
I just had listen. I just had that conversation with someone. It wasn't you. I was like, yo, you remember back in the day, the only way you can get exact time is dialing that phone number.
You had to dial a number.
Now fucking everything has a
The
time.
time on it. Yeah.
But back then, nigga,
You want to set the kitchen power went out? Yeah.
you had to
Call
call
the number.
You had to call the number.
What the number? If you ain't watched the news and was reading the paper, you ain't know the weather.
You had to call the number.
Yeah.
Damn, I remember that, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
That's crazy. That's
Yo,
crazy.
niggas on the same.
Well, you know, I feel my theory, G, is that we the greatest generation because we got to get it out the mud. We got to learn from the revolutionaries. Like niggas like Murph, your uncle. You know what I mean? We got to learn from OGs that got it from the 70s.
Yeah.
But we also got to see technology advance. We got to play with 8-tracks, cassettes, CDs, iPods, and everything.
I got a trivia question for you.
Sure.
Okay, if Chris Brown come out with something, is it called an album or a record?
If Chris, one song?
No, if the whole what is it called now?
It should be an album if it's an album. If it's a collection of songs,
Yeah.
sequenced with a cover, it's an album. If it's one individual hit that you're trying to honor before the album, then that's a record.
So you're downloading an album.
Well, if you download the whole album. People still put out albums.
Is it called an album?
Yes.
Okay.
On Tuesday, they still do releases.
Oh no.
Yeah, they still do releases. But the difference now is I can say, you know what, I only want
I just want one. Yeah,
I just want one. See, you remember we used to have to, if it wasn't a release single, we used to have to buy the whole album just for some bullshit.
Name me 3 classic albums where you can go all through without skipping.
From the beginning of my life?
That
I can go through all through?
Just give me 3.
Ice Cube, Death Certificate.
Yeah. Over Americans Most Wanted?
Yeah, Death Certificate was my favorite album all time.
Come on, man. Okay, I give you that.
Death Certificate. That's a great question.
It can be R&B, it can be hip hop, R&B, whatever.
Ice Cube, Death Certificate.
It's just funny. I thought Death Certificate was cool. I thought between NWA first, Eazy's album, NWA's 2 albums, America's Most Wanted, and Death Certificate came after that.
I think America's Most Wanted, to me, I probably liked it more. It impacted me more. I was on the street. I was driving. That's my last summer free. So I had a great summer. That was the first car. Back then, niggas still I had a CD player. So like.
You did?
In my car. Hell yeah. I was the first nigga in damn near, definitely that went from the projects that had that motherfucker. Yeah.
Wow.
Had the CD, snatch out CD on my shit.
I remember coming to Gary, summer of 90. Boys in the Hood came out.
I was 91. I was gone.
I was 91? Oh, you was?
I was gone. I didn't get to graduate.
You would have graduated in 91, right? Because I got.
You would graduate. Yeah, you was 92. I was 91. 90 was my last summer.
I remember going to the movie theater on 52nd Street. I don't know if that was Maryville. It was Maryville.
Yeah, Maryville 63rd and up. Everything 60. Well, it might be 53rd.
Yeah, I think it's in the
53rd. Yeah.
And I remember Boys in the Hood came out that summer. Niggas was wild. I think
it was crush me.
Him.
You got to think, yeah. Like
so,
I'm gonna give you an example of the timeline for you. I got locked up. When I got locked up, the Bulls hadn't even won a championship yet.
Really?
Yeah. I never saw the Bulls championship on the street. The last Bulls game I saw on the street was when they lost to the Pistons in '90 when Scotty had that headache.
So I left.
Now I saw most of that season, but I didn't see. I never got to go to a
So
parade.
you didn't see
I cried
you
watching
didn't-
the Bulls
You didn't
parade.
see the.
I saw it, but I was already gone.
Yeah, because I remember I was in California when y'all got locked.
Yeah.
And I left. I went to California in December '88. So that was a year.
December '88. So that was my. So you left what
My
year?
freshman year.
In the middle of your freshman year.
Yeah. And I think that was the year the Bulls beat the Lakers. The following spring was the year the Bulls beat the Lakers. Would have been.
Nah, it would have been your junior year. It would have been the year I would have graduated.
I was here.
You left in '88. Yeah, you left in '88. You left right after Jordan hit the shot on Elo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was in Cali in '89. So who won in '89?
So it was Pistons back to back '89-'90.
Oh, that's
They beat
right.
Portland. They beat the Lakers. Lakers tried to go for the three-peat. Lakers
so-
beat yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Lakers beat Pistons and they beat somebody 8-7. And it was yeah. So but nah, so I overcame that shit though. They sent me out there with $25, nigga. They was trying to break me. You know, old white bitch was like, nigga, you'll be back. You ain't gonna make it because I can tell you gonna sell drugs. You'll be back, nigga. You like too flashy. You flashy in here.
Where they put you on the bus to?
Annapolis.
Oh, they did?
$25. $25. I looked at that motherfucker. I'm like, I'm finna cash this bitch too. I'm spending this motherfucker. You son of a bitch.
Because I remember, because your uncle was at Powers and Son,
Yeah,
right?
construction, he owned it. So that's
Oh,
what
yeah?
helped me get out. Yeah, he owned it. Him and yeah. Well, his dad started, him and his brother running it.
I didn't realize that was your people.
That's my uncle.
Man, that's scary,
God,
nigga.
yeah. That's probably, I think McKissick, which my brother,
They
you know, my brother.
from here.
Well, you know, Carl, and I don't want to, well, they can't sue, but he was really the brain. He did a lot of brain early operations for that company. My brother,
McKissick?
McKissick.
They're so you know.
Well, I thought they was based in DC though. I thought they was
Yeah,
DMV.
So
area.
it's two of them.
Okay.
So they just split. So I done work. You know the African American Museum in DC.
Yeah.
You know
They built that. My brother was.
You know I
construction.
furnished it.
I didn't know
They
that.
built
All
it.
through the
I
company.
furnished the whole building. I furnished it. They built it. I furnished it. So the two sisters, they split. One owns, I think, McKissick. The other one started another company. They fucking.
So that's who my brother, when they started, and I don't want to get the lingo too, but I know he was their right hand man for a while.
Wow.
So he made them a lot of bread to the point he was like, I'm making these motherfuckers so much money, I gotta.
Yeah.
Now that's when cancer came, shit changed. So yeah, like small world, you know what I mean?
Very
Like,
smart. I wish I knew that. It's funny because I know the guy that does all their business and development, and I just called him because he had cancer. I just called him the other day, just to be like, "Yo, what's up?" And I did not know that. That's
yeah,
funny.
that's my brother shit.
That's funny as shit.
Yeah, he helped get that shit running.
Two sisters, man. They get
They get money. They money now. But now I think after them, I know if he ain't 2, he 3 in the country. Oh yeah, black owned. They've been around since the 70s. I mean, they built schools in Chicago. I think they do like interstate projects and shit in 1994. So they got offices in Indianapolis. I think they got another one in another city. So they get to it. But back to your original point, like him, that letter kind of supported, you know, him saying I was gonna get a job, such a reputable company. Now, I love you. I could stay on that motherfucker about 5 weeks, man. My big ass is not to be swinging. I was in that jig lift, man. White folks, you always be here. They like, nigga, you know you're supposed to be working for 8 hours straight. I'm like, nigga, I'm not no more.
Yeah.
So listen, they had me on a jig lift, right? We building a school. And the wind blowing like a motherfucker, right? The weight limit 275. I'm 264. That's only 9 pounds,
Right.
nigga. They like, man, we gonna be up here all day. It's gonna be windy all week. I said, boss man, I quit.
but you know that's not you. You know, bro.
And nigga said, bro, you making $22. I said, boss man, I thank God and I thank you. I thank my uncle. I'm scared to death. I don't want to die falling off a motherfucking jig lift, bro.
Yo, I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity. But it's just that.
Man, that motherfucker was ragging. He was like, he was like, one white boy was like, man, how you that big? You scared? I'm like, man, I slap the shit out of you, nigga. Fear ain't got nothing to do with my size, nigga. I don't want to fall, nigga. What the fuck you doing?
I don't know how you funny. You're the funniest dude. Yo, you be in Indiana talking to these white people like,
What the the fuck? You dumbass nigga. I talk to white people like black people. I'm from Gary, nigga. I don't know that yet. That's a boss.
Yo,
Then you go up to the niggas, be like, I'm gonna kill you, Tyrone. Okay, Mr. Bobby. You better get the fuck out of here.
yeah, you used to tell me them stories. You be in people's house. I'd be like, yo, this nigga crazy.
Oh yeah, I be in that cable, motherfucker. You got a Confederate flag. I'd be like, I'm not doing your cable. I'm like, fight, come on, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Call the white tech over here. You want the Confederacy to win, bitch. I ain't hooking up your cable. My man was like,
What?
nah, you can't be doing
You
that.
can't do that.
I'm like, motherfucker shoot niggas every day, B. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going through that shit, bro. Motherfucker, you get mad. Like, you had dog shit. I wasn't coming in there.
Really?
No, clean up that dog shit. They be mad. Don't fuck around and have 4-5 spots of dog shit. Oh, I'm canceling your shit right now. Customer refuse. Oh, man. I'm sorry.
Yo, you got problems, man. You got problems. Oh, wait. It's 3 o'clock, man.
It's 3. Yeah.
All right,
But nah,
We're going to cut. This is what happens when you're having fun.
Nah.
We can do remote, right?
always remote. And we're going to do this. This is what we'll do. Right now, let's go at least 10, every 10 days.
Okay.
At least, a week, roughish. You know what I mean? Like a little buffer on each side. But we had conversations. We speak on your growth, how you doing. We speak on the business. And we let people
I
know.
got a lot of shit to talk about.
Sure do.
So we could just keep it every 10 days, knock it out.
Just a segment. Now, I want to say this on camera. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud. I said this. How many times have I said this to you? How many times? I'm being serious. How many times have I said this to you? And that's, I hate niggas building no home. That's man to man.
Yeah. No.
Friend to friend.
Because a lot of niggas don't tell me that.
I'd be like, yo, man.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate it.
Like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, nigga, how many niggas you know, even if they've been locked up 6 months, like, come out and get that shit together. Or even first you gotta have drive to do it. And then, one thing to say, I tell niggas when they say they go do it, I say, put that shit on paper, nigga. That's because when you put it on paper, that becomes a contract.
Becomes a goal.
You just talking shit. Because I see you 2 weeks from now, but what you do? I ain't do it. But
my dog died.
I compute my internet was that. Nah, nigga.
Your dog.
Nigga, put that shit on paper right in front of me and sign that bitch. I'm gonna notarize it with my signature. If you serious. Because everything is right at your fingertips. Nigga, you got a fucking podcast. And I'm laughing because I'm like, you carry this shit around, boom, boom, boom. You hook up 15 minutes, my kid's looking at you like, bam, it's done. Most motherfuckers, you know how many people in the last 6 months told me they go do a podcast? I mean, take a guess. I've had like 8 people be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a podcast.
So niggas be telling me he got a podcast, I'm get one too. I'm like, nigga, your wife don't even listen to you, dumbass nigga. Your judge, your lawyer don't even listen to your dumbass nigga. Like, who the fuck was... You can't walk up to a foreign motherfucker and be like, get directions, nigga. Who the fuck is gonna listen to you?
Right.
I'm like, bro, if you can't walk up to a stranger and get their attention for 30 minutes, don't try it.
But forget the conversation. That's which is important. Just setting up the shit.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, look.
Yeah. And I don't want to tell them too much. There's a lot of dumb niggas need some advice. And I ain't giving you dumb niggas no advice for free.
I agree.
Nah.
I used to give advice.
And the price of brick went up now. I guess 1,000 for advice, nigga, because I'm in New Jersey.
What did Fedjo say?
Oh, yesterday's price ain't today's price, nigga. Yesterday's price is not today's price, nigga.
So this boy was like, he trying to sell this building to the city. And I'm like, oh, I know the mayor. That's my man. He's like, oh, you do? He's like, can you set up a meeting? I was like, yeah, we're going to meet Capitol Grill on Thursday. So he called me on Tuesday, like, we meeting today, right? I'm like, nigga, we said Thursday. So I said, you know what? He called me, he rescheduled. I said, you know what, now, if you want to meet, you got to give me something.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't giving you the keys. Nothing ain't free no more.
Nothing ain't free, man. Because if you make it free, niggas will use you up, nigga, you'll still be hungry.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? All right, well, let me get out of here, my G. ConcreteGeniusMedia.com. If you ever in Jersey, tap in. I got the club for you. Get you some VIP deals. We got the bottles. We got the ambiance. You know what I'm saying? Get outside your comfort zone, man. I want to thank you for sharing some things to us. You know what I mean? Hosting me a great weekend. Got a lot of shit to do, a lot of catching up to do. And toast to this new segment, man, because we're gonna really help some black people with mental health across the country.
Let's do it, man.
God bless.
This is just the beginning, bro.
This is just the beginning. I'm not an alcoholic either.
I'm bro.
I was close when y'all saw me drinking that Hennessy bottle, driving up the highway. But y'all gotta wait for that story. Sauce.